Our consulting relies on two main methodologies. One, accelerated learning, which trains adults in the ways that they enjoy learning. And also, the second one is neuro-linguistic programming, the science of observing and modeling the best practices of successful people and organizations. Now, mashallah, Hajji Abiba has a very beautiful profile, I must say, and I was
class. MICA is a wonderful organization. I'm always delighted to support them and be part of our dawah and sharing knowledge for the Ummah. So why are we here today? Those of you who are coming early, I'm sure others will join us for this class on getting yourself promoted. So is it because you are watching your prospects, your jobs, businesses go to others just because they don't know how good you are, right? You don't know how to sing your praises. Is it because you see other opportunities knock on the doors of other people and you feel, how about me? Or is it that you wish you could achieve your goals, whichever goals they are? Is it your career goals, business goals, financial goals, personal life goals, and you're struggling to achieve them? And are you determined that this next year, 2023, is going to be a different year? This next year, I'm actually going to go for what I want, and I'm going to get what I want, inshallah. So if you answered yes to any of those questions or statements, then you are in the right place. Definitely, you are not alone. There are many of us who are in this boat. I was one for a long time. And of course, you know, life is the journey of continuous learning. So me too, looking towards 2023, there's some things I want to achieve, and it's going to take me, I am the one who has to make the effort to make those dreams a reality, and just pray to Allah to bless all those efforts. So if that's why you are here in this class, you're very, very welcome. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot out of it. The first question you have to ask yourself is, do I really want to get to the top? Do I really want to be promoted? Not enough people ask themselves that question. Many people are satisfied where they are. Many people are satisfied with getting a incremental promotion. Like if you're in the civil service, every 2 to 3 years, you know, you move up, or you move up a grade. You might stay on the same job, but you move up a grade, you get a salary increment. Some people are satisfied with that. And if that's you, that's fine. If that is you, that is fine, okay? If you are somebody who from when you first started your first job, you looked up and you said, I want to be the managing director, I want to be the general manager, I want to be the minister, I want to be the president. If you are one of those people, you're ambitious, okay? You have to make a really conscious decision about it. Because while pursuing that ambition feels fantastic, you know, you work hard, you get onto good projects, you volunteer, you do all these things, and you're progressing, and people are recognizing you, and they're praising you, and they're saying how fantastic you are. When you get to the top, it can be a very lonely place. When you get to the top, you become a big man or a big woman, right? So many other people are looking towards you. When you get to the top, it doesn't mean your life is a life without problems or without burdens. And yet everybody else thinks you're living a life of, you know, you're already in paradise. That's what they think, right? And everybody thinks you're there to help them, and they can reach out to you for help. The pressure from friends, the pressure from family, the pressure from just people who admire you, who you don't know, is significant. And then to get to the top, it takes a lot of hard work. Don't look at anybody who's gotten to the top, whether you feel they had patronage, whether you feel they had privilege. Yes, having patronage, having privilege might make it a bit easier for you, but getting to the top is hard work. And staying at the top is hard work. It's such hard work that your other aspects of your life that are important to you, your friends, your family, your health, relationships, visit, travel, those other aspects might suffer as a result. So you have to really think long and hard, right? Think really long and hard about, do I really want to get to the top? And then if you do, am I ready for it? Okay, so the leadership career ladder can be tough. It's rewarding, yes, but it has a lot of downsides as well. And this is a summary of what it takes to get yourself promoted. And I'm going to take us through the steps, step by step. The first thing is, which I was talking about, is clarify your career objectives. Don't feel guilty. Don't let anybody put you under pressure that, look, you're so fantastic, you're so intelligent, you could be the best. If you don't want to be the best, okay, then say, yes, I could be the best, but actually, this is what I want for myself. This is what I want for my life. And once I've achieved this, maintaining it is enough for me. Okay. And if you're somebody who, yes, I want to be at the top, clarify your career objectives. That's the first thing. Spend some time sitting down, thinking about it, pray about it, you know, and then realize that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And this advice is for everybody, but it's even more important for millennials and Generation Z. So millennials, you know who you are. Generation Z, if you're under 25 right now, very often 2 years seems like a long time for you. Okay, it seems like a very long time, but actually it's not a long time. If you're doing what you enjoy doing, you're making an impact, you're feeling challenged, before you know it, you'll blink and 2 years has gone past. So don't work somewhere for 6 months, even though you're doing a fantastic job, and think, why haven't I been promoted yet? I know many of you, after 1 year, I haven't been promoted. I've been here for a year, I haven't been promoted. What am I doing here? Okay, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And I've got other tips there about know your strengths and weaknesses, take assessments. Many of us in Nigeria, especially, our educational systems are not structured to help us discover our strengths. They are structured just to teach us whichever topic or whichever subject we are studying, not to help us discover our strengths. So when you get into the workplace, it's very important for you to discover your strengths and to know what they are. So do whatever, there's so many free assessments, and some assessments you pay for. Ask people, what am I good at? What do you think are my strengths? Discover your strengths, discover your weaknesses. That's going to really help you on the path to getting promoted. So you play to your strengths, you don't play to your weaknesses. Keep your profile and your CV updated all the time. You'll be surprised how important this is. Opportunities come and they say, send me your CV. If you don't have the CV to send within 5-10 minutes, you might miss an opportunity. And your LinkedIn profile, these days, many employers, and I'm going to talk about this later, but many employers these days, they don't even advertise. You just go to LinkedIn and do a search with filters. And it's the results that come out of LinkedIn that they then contact and invite for interviews. So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile yet, that's one of the things that at the end of this class, you should go and do immediately. You have to keep learning. The world is changing so fast because of the digital revolution that if you're on a 4-year technical course, by your 3rd year, what you learned in your 1st year would have been obsolete. So you have to keep learning. If you don't think I'm a professor now, I'm an expert now, you're only an expert for 3 years, if at most. After that, if you hadn't continued learning, your knowledge becomes obsolete. So keep learning. Network. It's very important. I'm not going to go into how to network here, okay? But there are many resources. Just go online, how to network. You need to know how to network. Don't go anywhere. Don't leave your house and go anywhere and not network. And network means meeting people, letting people know who you are, what you do, okay, how you can be of service to them, how you can solve problems for them, how the connection will be useful to both parties, okay? That's really important. Make sure your family knows what you do, all your family members, including extended family, make sure they all know what you do. Make sure they all know what you want. Make sure they all know your career objectives, where you're trying to get to. You don't know who they will meet somewhere and they'll say, oh yeah, I have a relation who's looking for something like that. Yeah. Keep track of your accomplishments, especially these days. It's very easy to feel useless. You feel useless, you don't feel smart, you feel hopeless. It's very easy to start feeling that way, to feel down and depressed. So note down all your accomplishments, because you'll be surprised you accomplish a lot. Have your to-do list every day. And as you're getting things done, cross them off. At the end of the day, look and say, okay, yeah, I don't know why I'm feeling useless. I got so much done today. I don't know why I'm feeling useless. I achieved so much this year, okay? So keep track of your accomplishments. And then look for opportunities to let people know what value you can add to their lives or to their business. That is what self-promotion is. It's not being fake and pretending to be what you are not. No, it's about letting people know what value they can add, what value you can add to their lives and to their organizations and to their business, okay? And then make your pitch. So that's what we're really gonna cover here. So step one is drafting a personal development plan. So let me go into the chat and add this document. I hope I can find it quickly. Just a minute. I should have gotten this ready in advance. I apologize for that. Here we go. So a personal development plan, if you work in a big organization, it's something that every year after your appraisal, they would ask you, okay, what are your plans? What are you planning to do to improve your performance, or to go back to school, or learn? What new learning do you need to do? What are your ambitions? What are your career objectives? How do you need to achieve those objectives? What skills do you need to learn? Oh, sorry, I uploaded it as a direct message. Just a minute, let me just upload it to everybody. So I'm uploading this document. It's called a professional development plan, fillable. So you can fill that in and it will help you clarify your career objectives and what you need to learn, okay? So that you can get yourself promoted. So that's step one. Please download it from the chat. It's in the chat right now. This is an example of the professional development plan. It's going to ask you here, what are your long-term goals? So this is an example. I want to be promoted to an area manager. Okay, so that is a general one, long-term goal. So what are your specific career goals? To become area manager, what experiences do I need to have, right? So the first one is become a team supervisor, then become a team manager, then become an area manager. All right, okay, so step one, become a team supervisor. What are the skills that you need to become a team supervisor? You capture the skills here. So this one is saying, I need a technical qualification, I need product knowledge, I need to do conflict management, I need customer service, okay? Then what skills do you need to work on? It says here, supervisory skills, giving feedback, because if you're a supervisor, you need to give feedback to your subordinates, right? Handling angry customers, because when your subordinates can't handle an angry customer, they escalate to you. So you need to know how to handle angry customers. And it says, okay, what actions are you going to take to become a team supervisor? So here, I'm going to take an online continuing personal development course. Yes, I'm going to do a customer service excellence course. Then I'm going to ask one of the supervisors to become my mentor, right? So actual steps about what you're going to do to become this team supervisor. And finally, the final question, when are you going to complete or take this action by deadline? He said, I can do all of this within 6 months. So that's for the step one of your career objectives, step one. Step two, after I become a team supervisor, I now need to immediately, as soon as I become a team supervisor, I should immediately start working on becoming a team manager. So you've highlighted the skills, the ones you need to work on, what you're going to do immediately, and how long it will take you, and then to become an area manager. So this is what the professional development plan looks like. And I want each of you to make sure you complete it today after this class. Okay. And by the way, as I'm talking, please feel free to type in the chat. I'm monitoring the chat and I'll be responding as we're going along. Okay. So please feel free to type in the chat and I'll respond. So first thing you need to learn is to make your elevator pitch. Now, why is it called an elevator pitch? It's called an elevator pitch because during the .com era, where all those tech companies were starting up, they needed to meet angel investors. And many times they would only have an opportunity to speak to them for less than 5 minutes. In fact, they would say, okay, come with me in my elevator on the way to my office. So the 1 minute between when you get into the elevator and when the elevator gets to the top floor and the angel investor exits, You had just that 1 minute to make your pitch. Tell them, this is what I'm doing. This is why I need your money. So it's called an elevator pitch or an elevator speech. And this is something each of you needs to have, and you must have practiced giving it, so that when you are networking, when you meet somebody new, let's say you meet me somewhere, and you say, Salam alaikum, I saw you at the Micah lecture and so on and so forth. I was really inspired. And I'll say, oh, lovely to meet you, right? And then I'll say, oh, tell me a bit about yourself. You have 1 minute to now say, oh, my name is Habiba Balogun. I am an organization effectiveness consultant. Okay. I help organizations improve their performance. I do executive coaching for leaders, team building, and I'm a social justice activist as well. And in fact, what I really want to do is impact on a national scale, because what I'm doing, I'm helping company by company, and I want to be able to help people at scale. Okay. I've worked in Nigeria, I've worked in West Africa, I've worked in Europe, I've worked in America, I've worked in so many places around the world. And I use a certain methodology that makes sure I teach adults the way they enjoy learning. And, you know, all the feedback we get is that it's really transformed their lives, and it's also helped their businesses, you know, achieve their financial and other goals. You know, some of my clients, I've done some state governments, done some oil and gas companies. I do a lot in the development sector, international development partners, NGOs like Micah. And, you know, so, you know, please, I'll be really happy to have the opportunity to serve your organization. I know you're going through a lot of transition. Your staff, you've got about 70% millennials and Generation Z right now. And I know some of your managers are struggling with that. I'd be very, very happy to help you with that. You know, may I have your card, or who can I contact to connect and take this conversation further? Just like that. You have to have it ready. You must have practiced it. So in any of these situations, anytime somebody says, introduce yourself, or you meet somebody new on the phone, or you are leaving a voicemail to somebody, okay, my name is, in an interview, when they say, oh, you know, introduce yourself, tell us briefly about yourself. In meetings, in conferences where they say, oh, yeah, a panelist, please introduce yourself. When you're making presentations, you must be able to deliver this 1 minute elevator pitch. 1 minute elevator pitch. So, and it's not just for the elevator, it's for all of these places. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break up into groups of 3. We're going to go into breakout rooms in groups of 3. And I want each of you to introduce yourselves using your elevator pitch. And you have to share the impact and value you bring to your organization. Okay, so that's what I want us to do. So Rukaya, can you do this for us, or would you like me to do the breakout rooms? Or is it Zainab? I don't know who, I think it's Zainab who's doing this. Zainab, should I do it?
Zainab, assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
I'll create the
Thank
rooms.
you.
Okay, so please go ahead. Please make sure you move people into the breakout rooms automatically, so they don't have to click. Okay. So just click on options and select automatic, moving automatically. So does anyone have any questions before we move into our breakout rooms? Any questions about this exercise? You have only 1 minute each. So we're going to give you 5 minutes. In that 5 minutes, 3 of you should have done your 1 minute elevator pitch. Okay, so 1 minute each, somebody can be the timekeeper, 1 minute each. Do your elevator pitch and come back, and then we'll hear what you have to say about how well you introduced yourselves. Zainab, when you're ready, you can launch the rooms. Okay, so we've started to come back. There should be a few more people, still a few more people who are not in yet. We'll just wait for them to come back in before we resume. So welcome back. So how did you find the experience? Who was able to do their breakout, their elevator pitch? How did you find the experience? Who would like to share? Just raise your hand using the reaction button. Raise your hand and I'll invite you to unmute. Who would like to share? Okay, so I'm going to, okay, Kubrat, go ahead, please unmute. What was it like for you?
Assalamu alaikum. For me, it was very interesting because I've been battling with this like in my real life, like how to approach people and how to just interact with people, especially strangers. So when I saw this come up, I was like, okay, let me just give it a go. And it was just interesting for me and just helped me like try to know how to put myself together and package what I intend to share with others. I've never really thought about telling people the value. So I need to put more work into that to understand my impact and my value. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Definitely, when you're making an elevator pitch, it's really important not always to be asking. It's very important to be offering. Okay, so you can remute. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, and please comment in the chat as we're going along. So let me continue. Second thing, so one, your pitch. What you say about yourself, what you convey about yourself, what impression people, okay, Anma said he didn't go by the pitch, but no problem, Amas. I hope you found it. You don't have to go step by step and follow it, but as long as you get the message, you get the point, and you achieve the objective, that's fine. So the next thing is, after you've learned how to communicate, and remember, the elevator pitch needs practice. So stand in front of your mirror, practice it. Hold your phone, record yourself, practice it. Every opportunity, anytime somebody says introduce yourself fully with the elevator. Oh, really? What's your name? Oh, my name's Habib Balu. As soon as they say, just say, oh, yes, I'm an organization. In fact, just launch into your elevator pitch. Practice makes perfect, okay? Second thing is, if you want to get yourself promoted within an organization, you have to understand the DNA of an organization. The DNA, I hope you all know what DNA is, right? It's about the cells that make up a human being, any living organism, right, has DNA. So what makes your organization what it is? Okay, you have to understand it. What is its reason for being? Why is this organization existing in the first place? Okay, what is its attitude to growth? Does it want people to take their time slow and steady, or is it aggressive? Who makes decisions? Sometimes it's not always the people who have the title to make the decisions, who really makes the decisions. That's number one. Two, who influences decisions? Sometimes I've heard of cases where even a driver can influence who gets a contract. Somebody's driver can speak to his or her boss and say, oh yes, I heard, and the driver influences who gets the contract or who gets the job, okay? Or maybe the boss is in the car discussing two candidates and so on, and they're saying they're both really good, and then the driver will just pitch in and say, oh, the other day, so and so, oh, this person, whenever I take this person out, they always branch on their friend's house, and that is it, right? It could be secretary. There are many people, or the EA, the executive assistant, there are many people who influence decisions. Identify who are the influencers in your organization. They're not always the people with the titles, okay? How do people get ahead in your organization? Look at what's on paper, yes, in their policy, but also ask questions. That person who was promoted recently, how did that person get promoted? Find out the real advancement process, okay? And then what is it looking for in its leaders? A long time ago, I hope that's not the case now, I was working somewhere and they found out that what they were looking for in their leaders were people who were above, tall people, above 5'10", male, went to a certain school. Nobody knew until we did like a profiling. And even the people who are selecting the leaders on the big, they themselves did not know that that was what they were looking for in their leaders. Okay, so look around and ask questions and find out, in my organization, if I want to become a leader in this organization, what is this organization looking for in its leaders? How do I fit against that profile? What are the criteria for promotion? Do I meet that criteria? Okay, and even if you don't meet the criteria, you should know the criteria so that when you're arguing for your promotion, you know how to say, yes, I know I haven't done 5 years here, but this is why I think you should still consider me for promotion, right? What are the needs of the organizations, current and coming needs, especially technology? What new software or new technology does your organization have to move towards, whether it likes it or not? Then you go and skill yourself up in that area. You're positioning yourself that when they're looking for people who have that skill, you already have it, right? And who gets noticed and how do they get noticed? Do they get noticed because they are at their desk at a certain time doing their work? Or do they get noticed because every morning before they sit, they come in early, before they sit down to do their work, they go around, they greet everybody? Or do they get noticed because this is the person who goes out and buys granules or peanuts and goes around the office, or sweets, and everybody likes that? Is that why the person gets noticed? I'm not saying you should do these things. I'm saying find out who gets noticed in your organization and how. You need to know your organization's DNA. And remember, you can correspond with, just type in the chat. Let's communicate with each other in the chat. Assess yourself against that DNA. After you found out, assess yourself. Where do I fit it? Where am I, closely aligned? That's a strength. Where am I weak? What can I do about it? What are the obstacles that can prevent me from getting to where I'm going? Assess yourself against that. So number one, do your research. Then assess yourself ruthlessly. Ruthlessly says, don't be sentimental, okay? Don't be sentimental about that. So once you've assessed yourself, okay, and you see, okay, yeah, I'm not doing badly in terms of what they're looking for. I fit most of the criteria. How can I become a candidate for promotion? So there are several things. One, within your organization, who are your advocates? That means who are the people who will speak for you? Whether they like you or not, they know that, this person is very good at so and so. Anytime that particular challenge or that particular skill is brought up, that person will mention your name. Okay? Who are your advocates? Who actually does like you and wants to help you get ahead? That is also your advocate. What are your obstacles? Is advancement in your official development plan? That means if you're in an organization that does annual appraisal, after the appraisal, they'll ask you about your individual development plan, professional development plan. In that plan, is prepare for the next level. Is it there in that plan? That plan that has been approved by your line manager and by HR. Are you a identified successor for any of the higher positions? Are they grooming you? Are you in the talent pool? Have they identified you as talent in that organization? That means they're going to make sure you get training and everything you need to rise within the organization. Are you in the leadership pipeline? Are you in the management track? You need to find out. If not, all you have to do is ask a question. When you ask, you will now discover, if you didn't know before, when you ask, that's when you discover that, yes, they have a management track, they have a leadership pipeline, they have a talent pool. Okay? Are they grooming you? Rukaya, thank you very much. Exactly that. Have you discussed your ambitions with your boss? That, sir, or ma, within 1 year, or, I'm hoping I'll be able to get promoted. I've been doing really well. I know you're satisfied with my work. I really like to get promoted, or I'm looking for this sort of opportunity to be put on this type of project because it will help me in my career. Have you discussed your career objectives with your boss? Your boss can open doors for you. Your boss can close doors for you. And are you exposing yourself? Are you getting broader exposure through volunteering, through projects? Don't worry about the job you're doing in your organization. There will be projects going on in your organization. Sometimes those projects are like events. End of year party, annual retreat, a branch commissioning. They put a team together, right? A cross-functional team. Volunteer. or try and get onto those projects. That is how you get broader exposure. The organization will see, wow, this person has leadership potential, right? I'll volunteer in other organizations. And then they'll see, wow, this person has leadership potential. This, outside work, I didn't know that this person on Fridays or on Sundays, this person is part of MICA and they're standing in front of hundreds of people and talking, or they're managing webinars with hundreds of people. Wow, I didn't realize our staff had this capacity. So volunteer. And then if your organization has structured HR, an HR department, are the HR staff, the HR advisors, the HR manager, are they your advocates? Will they recommend you? Will they promote you? Because they are there when those decisions are being made. And I can see contributions in the chat. Thank you for those of you. This is from Olawoyin. She said, are you also investing in yourself? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then what connections do you have? And when I say connections, I don't mean connections so that you get what you don't deserve. No. So that you cheat other people of what they should have. No. Connections that will help you get what you have earned, that will help connect you to opportunities so that you can show what you are capable of, okay? This advancement, this promotion you're looking for, have you earned it? What have you done for your organization? What achievements do you have under your belt? So you need to be looking for opportunities to show what you're capable of. And if you don't have those opportunities in your current job, because of the type of work you do, or because your boss takes the credit all the time, then look for the opportunity in projects. Look for the opportunity in volunteering in charities, in NGOs, other things outside work. And then you find a way, and I'll talk about that later, to promote that on LinkedIn and other social media in general, right? And then choose the right time to pursue internal advancement. When you have invested in yourself, when there's a restructuring, when the institution is going through change, when there's a change in leadership, those are all opportune times when it is perfect to pursue advancement, because there's a shakeup. They're not going to say no term by term. They're going to look for talent. Okay, so choose the right time. And I'm going to share these slides with you. Another big challenge that a lot of people have is what should they do? I'm not so happy where I am, but where I am is good. It's good for me, it's good for my family, it's good for my finances. But I can see other things I'm more interested in, but I don't know. I don't know. So should I stay in my comfort zone, or should I pursue my ambitions and my dreams? Many people are stuck in that position, and they can be stuck in that position for 5 years, for 10 years, stuck, unhappy where they are, but not ready to make a move because it's a risk. Okay, all I will tell you is this: everything you want for yourself is on the other side of the risk assessment, right? Your comfort zone will keep you where you are. Your comfort zone will not help you achieve your dreams. In fact, some people say comfort is the enemy of progress. Okay, so you have to make that call. Am I ready to be uncomfortable so that I can achieve my dreams? And if you are really good, and if you are really young, this is why I like it. If you are a millennial, if you are Generation Z, you are young, go for it. Go for it. If you make a mistake, you can still come back. Okay. If you're a bit older, I suggest you save up for 12 months. Save up and have enough money to survive without income for 12 months. And then pull the trigger and go for it. Go for it and know that I can try for 12 months and try and make it work for 12 months before I have to now make a call about whether I'm going back into paid employment or anything else. Okay. The career dilemma, many people are in it. Don't get stuck in it. Don't give yourself maximum 3 months. Maximum 3 months, I must make a call. And if you decide to stay put, be happy with that decision. Be happy with the decision to stay put and then pursue your internal advancement. If you decide to make a move, be happy with that risk you're taking. Don't be so worried, okay? Pray to God, trust in Allah, okay? You've made the decision, go for it 100%, okay? And see what happens. So, a very important thing, self-promotion. And in Nigerian culture, they teach us not to do this. So it's a business skill. It's a business skill, but we've been taught, until we go out into the business world, we've been taught not to self-promote. That is going to attract evil eye, it's going to attract this, it's going to attract that. It shows you're not humble, it shows you're arrogant, all kinds of things. But this is a business skill. If you do not self-promote, people who are less able than you, but able to self-promote will get ahead of you. And it's not a competition between you and other people. I'm not saying it's a competition. I'm just saying where you want to be, okay, you will find other people getting there and you will not be. Why? Because you're not self-promoting. What is self-promoting? It is showcasing yourself. That is it. Showcasing yourself so that you can create opportunities. If you don't have any opportunities, you can create them. Also that you can seize opportunities that come your way. You have to showcase yourself. Think about it. If I am looking for somebody to run my business or to run my department, I'm a big investor, okay? And two are put before me. And one of them, I've heard of this person. I Google the person's name. I'll see on LinkedIn, they've written all kinds of things. They've written some articles on blog posts. They've written some things on Twitter. They were a panelist on somewhere. And I listened, oh, they seem very confident when they are talking about themselves. And then there's another person who on paper, they said, oh, the person has 10 years work experience. The person has a degree. The person went for further education. Yes, the person might lecture and so and so, but that is it. I don't know anything else about the person. Who am I going to go for? Who am I going to go for? So you have to showcase yourself. You just have to, if you want to get promoted, you have to showcase yourself. If you don't showcase yourself, instead of getting promoted in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you might get promoted in 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. So I'm not saying you won't get promoted, but it might double or triple the length of your journey. And then how high you can get in the end. Because if you are promoted early enough, the sky is your limit. And if you're going slower and slower, maybe you get to executive management. You might not get further than that until you have retired. Then you now start looking for board seats to go and sit on. So please, self-promotion, critical, okay? Really important. So I've got a poll. I want us to launch this poll. Zainab, please help me do that. What gets you promoted out of 100%, okay? What do you think gets you promoted? Is it your performance and your work? Is it the impact of your work? Or is it your exposure and visibility? Which one do you think gets you promoted? Your performance and your work, the impact of your work, or your visibility exposure? What gets you promoted? And there's a second question. The second question is, what communicates the most? The words that you say, your tone of voice, or your body language? Okay, so we've got 2 questions for you to answer. The first one is, what gets you promoted? Is it your performance and your work, the work that you do? Is it the impact of your work, or is it your visibility and exposure? And the second question, what do you think communicates the most? If you're communicating with people, what do you think communicates the most? Is it your words, the words that you say? Is it your tone of voice? Or is it your body language? So let's all respond to that poll, please. I can see the answers coming in. Very interesting now to see what's going to come up top. So your performance and your work is, how well you do your work, how diligently you do your work, coming to work on time, your work is neat, and so on. That's your performance and your work. The impact of your work is the work you've done, you do it. Does it help your organization make more sales? Does your work help your organization save money? Or does your work help your organization achieve its objectives? Okay, the impact of your work. And then your visibility and exposure is, do people know you? If somebody mentions your name, can they put a face to your name? Do the CEO or board members, if they see you, do they know that, oh, this person works in our organization? Okay, so that's what we're talking about those 3 things. Yes, I can see the poll. Yes, it's been launched. I can see the poll. Thank you, Zainab. All right, so I'm going to end the poll now because I think we've got all the responses. I'm going to end the poll and I'm going to show you the responses. So I hope all of you can see the responses to the poll. So for the first question, what gets you promoted? 43% of you say your performance and your work is what gets you promoted. And then we've got a draw. The impact of your work and your visibility exposure is 29%, 29%. Yeah? And then for the second question about what communicates the most, 43% of you say your body language, 36% of you say your words, and 21% of you say tone of voice. So body language first, then your words, then tone of voice. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing. Let's look at the results. So what gets you promoted? Your work, only 10% out of 100% is your work. Do you know why? If somebody is not performing well, they will not be candidates for promotion. So everybody who is a candidate for promotion is expected to be performing at a high level. So they are not going to give your work a high weight, a high rating. So only 10% of the decision to promote you comes from your performance or your work, because they will not even be considering you if your performance and your work is not good. Okay? Second, impact of your work. That has a higher weight, 30%. So if the work you're doing is really relevant to your organization and very impactful, it results in the organization achieving its objectives, that will contribute to you getting promoted, but only 30%, okay? In fact, the majority of what gets you promoted is your exposure and your visibility. And that is why I started with the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch will help you with your exposure or your visibility. If you do some work and they say, oh, can somebody come and present this work? Can you present your work? Many people say, no, let somebody else present it. I've done the work, let somebody else present it. That person that you're allowing to present your work, you're giving that person, you're dashing them exposure and visibility. Even if you're shy, even if you're not a good presenter, present your work by yourself. Look for opportunities to present your work, because it's your exposure and your visibility that gets you promoted. Remember, you must be good already to be a candidate for promotion. Okay? The impact of your work is a factor. The work you do is a factor. But what is most important is when they mention your name, the decision makers can, oh yes, I know that person. Oh, isn't that the person who wrote so and so report? Isn't that person who represented our company in so and so place? Isn't that person who was part of the organizing committee for so and so event? Oh yes. Isn't that the person who's always so helpful, who rescued us from so and so? They must know who you are. Exposure, visibility, number one. Let me know what you think about that in the chat, please. Let me know what you think about that. Second, let's go on to the next one. Let me go on. I'm going to leave distinguishing itself. I'll do that later. Let me go to the second poll since we're there already. Your personal impact. So this is why I was asking you, what communicates the most? Is it your words, your tone, or your body language? And there was research done by a gentleman called Merabian that came up with the responses. And your, when I asked you in the poll, most of you said, 43% said body language, 36% said your words, 21% said your tone of voice. In fact, these are the results. Your words only communicate 7%. So the words you say only count for 7% of your communication. They don't communicate that much, okay? So I can say to you, good morning. Good morning. I'm saying good morning, but because of the way I'm saying good morning, you don't believe that I'm greeting you. But if I say, good morning, that's better. The tone is higher, but you still don't believe I'm really saying good morning to you. But if I say, good morning, so I'm saying good morning, the tone is high, I'm smiling, I'm leaning forward. That's the body language. Now you believe that I'm saying good morning to you. So words, 7%, tone of voice, 38%, body language, 55%. Body language is what people see. So combine this with the other one about exposure and visibility. And that shows you how important appearance and people recognizing you, recognition is critical in both communication and in getting promoted. What are your thoughts about this? Let me hear in the chat. What are your thoughts about this? So let me go back quickly. Zainab, please help me drop the link in the chat. Let me hear your thoughts about what you think about those two polls in the chat. So the next thing is, if visibility is so important, how can I distinguish myself? How can I make myself visible? Yeah. So we've got a quiz here, and I'd like all of you to, it's in the, Zainab, thank you. She's posted the link in the chat. I'd like all of you to click on that link and take the quiz right away as we're talking, okay? And I'm going to take the quiz as well. What I want you to do is find out how well or how poorly you are doing in your quest for visibility. Some of you have never had a quest for visibility. You need to start, okay? But for those of you who have started, how well or how poorly are you doing in your quest for visibility? So take the quiz right now and check your points. So if you score under 50 points, you have a problem. You need to immediately raise your visibility in your organization. Otherwise, you can forget about getting promoted. Just forget about it, okay? And there are other advice. And I can see a question in the chat from Idris. What in a situation where you do the work and not able to present it because of hierarchical structure? Okay, absolutely. So Idris, that's why we said, if there are no opportunities for you to showcase yourself, you have to create opportunities to showcase yourself. You know, they say the prophet is never appreciated at home. So sometimes that work that you weren't able to present, maybe you can package it as an article. My experience putting this work together, or my findings from doing this work, post it on a blog, post it on a blog, post it on LinkedIn again, and you'll start a conversation. When people in your organization see, wow, this is our member of staff, has a big following outside. A lot of people, he writes really, or she writes really great articles. You are getting the visibility outside that you're not getting inside, and people will appreciate you more when you are appreciated, when you're recognized outside. So you have to have a strategy for becoming visible when you don't have the opportunity to present within your own organization. And there might be other ways. Maybe you can volunteer to deliver a knowledge sharing session in your organization. There may be other ways that you can get visibility, if not to making presentations. But I know that many people run away from giving presentations at work. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you to the quiz. That I hope all of you are filling that quiz right now. I hope so. Let me open it myself. And we're going to do it together. We're going to do it together. All right, and it will show you your results immediately afterwards. Okay, so this is the quiz. Do you treat it as if it's your own business? Do you treat your work as if it's your own business? Yes, I do. Do you work with passion every day? Yes, because if I'm not going to work with passion, there's no point. Why am I there? Do I develop strong relationships? Yes, wherever I am, I develop strong too. Do I have big goals? Let me say no. I'm being fair. I have goals, they're not that big. Do I deliver what you promised? Yes, absolutely. Now you'll notice it's only giving you yes and no. If you really cannot say complete yes, you have to say no. It's forcing you to be ruthless with yourself, right? Do you use all available resources, ask for help? I have to say no. I do, but not all the time, right? The way I should. Do you celebrate small successes? Yes, I do. Do you keep pushing yourself to achieve more? Yes, I do. Do you know your values and live by them? Yeah, many people have never sat down and thought, what are my values? What are your values? I think, yes, I do know my values, and yes, I do live by them, even when the situation is difficult. Do you become a member of important groups and associations? Not as well as I should. So I'm going to say no. So I'm a member of many important groups and associations, but I don't do this as well as I should. There are some that I should have been a member of a long time ago. So I'm going to say no. Do you help others help themselves? Yes. I don't like helping others. I prefer to help people to help themselves. Do you read? Oh, I read all the time, and I'm always learning new things all the time. Do you target outcomes, not activities in your planning? Yes. What is it? I say just stop drinking Coke. Stop drinking Coke is an activity. What is the outcome? Improve my health. Okay, so yes, I target outcomes. Think long-term, more than 2 years. Not really. I should, but I don't. Do I embrace uncertainty? Yes, but I'm lucky. I have a personality that has no problem with that. Do I consider every problem an opportunity? Yes, because I'm an optimist. But this is something, even if you're a pessimist, you can catch yourself and say, no, don't think that way. How can I turn this thing around so that I can benefit from it? Do I have a mentor? I don't have any one person I can call a mentor, but I seek help from people. So I have to say no. I don't have a mentor, but I have people I get advice from and I approach. Do I have a coach confidant for work issues? Right now, I don't. So I need to work on that, definitely. Do I do relevant work? Yes, I do. Do I spring back to your feet after a failure? Yes, immediately. And I will learn how to make sure, by God's grace, it doesn't happen again. I don't find myself in the same situation. Yes, I volunteer all the time. Do I develop sales and marketing skills and use them? Yes, I do. Like the elevator pitch is one of them. Do I turn down free offers? Yes, I don't have any problem. Immediately, I turn down free offers. There's nothing like a free lunch. Do I identify and engage influencers at all levels? Do I identify them? Do I engage them? Well, I mean, I think I do it, but I don't do it deliberately. So I'm going to say no. And then do I take a break when yes, I do. Okay, so you do that, you submit. And then it says your score, view your score. You click on view your score and it's told me I have 90 over 125. Okay, so this is what I want. I hope all of you were doing this at the same time as me. What is your score? What is your score? What is your score? What did you score? What did you score? Remember, I said if you have under 50, you have challenges. Okay, so 60, so work in progress. Thank you, Zainab. Okay, Abdurrashid, I know you distinguished yourself. You're a guru. Wow, Tawheed has got 120. Excellent, excellent. You're almost like you're doing everything. So Tawheed, we should even ask you. We should actually ask you to come and lead a class on distinguishing yourself, please, and tell us what is it you are doing? How did you get to the point of doing all of those things? Is it a journey or was it something you discovered? Yeah. Okay. So Tawheed, please, Zainab Rukayat, follow up with Tawheed and tell him we want a knowledge sharing session from him about how he did it. Okay. So please, if you scored less than 70, look at those questions again and take steps so that you can answer yes to those questions. I know I should be coming to an end, so I'm just going to go to the final bits. The first one is your profile, a big part of your visibility. Remember, I hope we've all agreed now that getting promoted means being visible. Being visible with substance. You've earned it. You are excellent, right? Okay. Part of visibility is managing your profile. So remember, your profile is an advert. Short, sharp, attractive. Okay, make sure your CV is short, sharp, attractive. It captures their attention. It makes them think, oh, this is the person we need. It's not a biography. It's not your life story. It shouldn't be more than 2 pages. If you capture them, they will invite you for an interview. Okay, and then you will have the opportunity to tell your life story. Also, remember, if you're trying to get promoted within your organization, they already know you. Okay, they already know most of things about you. So when you're updating your CV, you're updating it with all the things that they don't know about you, the things you do outside work, the qualities they're looking for that you've either, and things like projects you've been on. Remember, their DNA. You check, what are they looking for? Then what do I have that matches that? That is what you put on your CV when you're sending it for your internal application. Okay. And make sure you use action style and so on. That's standard. Now, LinkedIn is really important. As I said, many recruiters, even internally, they'll say, what is the person's profile? What's the person's electronic digital profile? They'll go and look for your digital profile. So make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date. Have a picture there. It doesn't have to be a picture of your face. Not everybody wants a picture of their face. Have some image that says something about you. whether it's nature, whether it's graphics, if you don't want to put your picture, but don't leave it blank, okay? And these days, if you fill your LinkedIn profile properly, you can generate a CV from your LinkedIn profile. So if somebody says, oh, do you have a CV and you haven't got an updated CV, you can quickly go to your LinkedIn profile, click on my profile, click on view profile, click on more, and you'll see options to just LinkedIn will just generate the CV for you, and then you send the people the link, or you download the document and you send them the document. But make sure you keep your LinkedIn profile up to date. Very important for your visibility. Okay. So this is your assignment today. Generate your LinkedIn profile and make sure, and if you have one already, improve it. Make sure it promotes you and it showcases your talent. It doesn't just say, this is my job title, this is the company I work for, and this is the school I went for. Those are facts. That's information. Okay, that does not communicate. That doesn't attract. Those are just facts. So make sure you are promoting yourself and showcasing yourself with your profile. We've done this already. I can move on to this. And the final, I think I'll do this, my final one. Another part of visibility is assertiveness, being assertive, okay? So I'm going to do an exercise now. I want all of you to stand up. I'm going to stand up as well. Wherever you are, stand up. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And if you answer no to any of these questions, sit down, okay? So in fact, I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see those of you who are ready to turn your cameras on. Are any of you ready to turn your camera on with me? Okay, I hope you are standing up. Yes? Okay. So remember, if you say answer no to any of these questions, sit down. Okay? I think it's only me and there are only 3 of us, 4 of us. Okay, let me share my screen then. Since the rest of you, maybe you're not camera ready. I don't think you're camera ready. So let me share my screen. So if you answer no to any of these questions, sit down. Okay? There we go. Let me pick it up. All right. I am comfortable meeting new people. Are you comfortable meeting new people in social situations? If yes, say standing. If no, sit down. Are you able to say no without feeling guilty or anxious? If you cannot say no without feeling guilty, sit down. Can you express strong feelings such as anger, frustration, or disappointment? Are you able to express them, communicate them in a calm way? If yes, keep standing. If no, sit down. Can you discuss your beliefs without judging those who don't agree with you? How many of us are still standing? Can you acknowledge and take responsibility for your own mistakes, or do you find it difficult to do so? Are you capable of learning new things and performing new tasks? Can you easily request for help and information from other people? Are you able to express your honest opinion to others, even if they don't agree with you? Can you tell others when their behavior is not acceptable to you? Can you assert your beliefs even when the majority disagrees with you? Do you believe that your needs are as important as the needs of others and that your needs should be considered? How many of us are still standing? Can you speak confidently in group situations with several groups of people? Can you express anger or disappointment without blaming other people? Are you comfortable delegating tasks to others? Do you value your own experiences and your own wisdom. Okay. How many of us are still standing? How many of us are still standing? Yes, okay. A few of you, Tawhid, I knew you must be standing. When you distinguish yourself so well, I knew you must be assertive. Okay, so you can sit down. You can sit down now. Okay. So I hope you have learned a valuable lesson, because many people don't understand what it means to be assertive. Assertive does not mean aggressive. Okay. It means that you value yourself and you insist on other people valuing you, and you can control your emotions, but you can still express your emotions. Okay? It's really important. And that assertiveness is what employers are looking for. That is what they are looking for. So don't say, I'm shy, I cannot be assertive. You can be shy and assertive. Okay? Don't say, oh, I'm over the top. So if I try to be assertive, maybe people will think I'll be aggressive. No. Okay? Assertiveness is different from shyness. Assertiveness is different from being vivacious and gregarious. Okay? This is what you find a way to get that balance. Become more assertive. Okay? So have your plan, your personal development plan, your professional development plan, your individual development plan. Position yourself where and how it counts in your organization. Find out what's important to your organization. Create opportunities for yourself to advance if those opportunities don't exist. Okay? Present yourself as a contender for advancement. Share your goals and ambitions. Let them know where you're looking at, okay, what you're trying to achieve. They might think you're happy where you are. That's why they're not promoting you, because you're so good. Demand recognition and reward for your contributions and impact without being aggressive. Just say, look, this is what I've achieved, and I think it should be recognized. Yeah. Okay. And if you have already boxed yourself into, okay, so we can't do this. I had an exercise I'm going to take you through. We can't do that because of time, but I will. Rukai is asking a question. How does assertiveness relate to being comfortable with meeting new people? So it means that, so even if you're shy and you're feeling a little uncomfortable inside you, you know yourself, you value your experience and achievements enough, okay? You view yourself as a professional enough that when you meet new people, you can be in their midst, you can introduce yourself, you can ask them to introduce themselves, even though inside you might be cringing, okay? You are, what's the word now? You're comfortable enough in yourself that, yes, I'm not the best person. I prefer being around people who know me and everything, but as a professional, yeah, I can engage, no problem. Okay, so that's part of being assertive. It's absolutely part of being assertive. So I have to move on from the score exercise that I wanted to do with you. Move on from this. I can't do this political behavior, but I'll share this with you, no problem. And I think the network map too. So this is really important. So many people don't get ahead because of two things. One, this one, you're too valuable. Your boss doesn't want you to leave. Or your boss is threatened by your success, okay? So you have to address those. Let your boss know that if your boss doesn't support you in advancing, he or she will lose you anyway because you're going to leave the organization. They would rather keep you within the organization and let you go ahead than for you to leave the organization completely, okay? Your boss is threatened by your success. Align your success to your boss's success. Make your boss look good. Okay, and then let your boss know that you are there for him or her, you're there for the organization, and so on. Give your boss credit that if not for my boss who supported me, I wouldn't have been able to achieve this thing. Okay, identify what those obstacles are and find a way to overcome them. So to close, don't assume you have to leave your organization to advance. You don't. Opportunities can be planned or unplanned. Be ready. Have your elevator pitch ready. Have your CV updated, ready. Okay, you have to build advocates, people who will speak to you, speak for you, who know what you want. Okay, and create a tangible development plan. Know your value and communicate your value. Don't expect your work to speak for you. You have to speak for your work. You have to speak for yourself, because your work might speak for your boss, might not speak for you. Okay. Establish a transition plan. If you are so good where you are and you're moving somewhere else, establish a transition plan that I'm going to make sure that when I leave, the next person will do it as well as I, or even better. And I'll be on standby to support. That will remove one of the major obstacles to your advancement. And remember, everybody is different. So talk to HR, talk to a mentor, talk to a coach to help you to navigate your path. And thank goodness, I've been able to finish. Remember, preparation is key. If you want to do anything in life, anything, preparation. That's why when you're doing your ablution, it prepares you, that ritual puts you in the right frame of mind, right? To say your prayers, your salat, okay? And get in touch with yourself and your relationship with your creator. So develop visibility, essential. Build credibility. Credibility comes from people knowing what you've accomplished, what you are good at, what results you deliver. Develop external focus. Sometimes you don't have room within your organization internally. So develop an external focus. You have room outside. And from your visibility outside, they will value you more inside where you are now. And remember, relationships are key. Have relationships with everybody. Bosses, subordinates, peers, clients, family, friends, colleagues, everybody. Anybody you meet and they say, you have to introduce yourself, use your pitch. It's all about relationships. And I hope this talk has been useful to you. And inshallah, I'll be hearing stories from you about how you have gotten yourself promoted and how you are thriving in your new positions. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah khairan, ma'am. Thank you so much for that impactful session. I really, really did enjoy it, and I'm sure the guests as well. I think the most interesting part was when we did the breakout sessions and we had to like pitch. I find that like difficult, to do basically, and yeah, I found that interesting. So we'll be taking questions for the remaining parts of the time we have. Okay, so the first question here, ma'am, is, I guess this is not a question, it's basically a comment, I think. Hussein is saying, can be hard dealing with a line manager who sees you as a threat to their position because you have better skill sets and key competencies. There's also another one. This one was sent directly to me. How can I have a conversation with a line manager if I feel it doesn't acknowledge my value and criticizes me for any simple mistake, even if it's the cause of the issue?
Yeah.
Note is a highly critical person with too good emotional intelligence in managing people. And most times I attempt having a discussion with him, I don't feel heard. I don't know if you get the question, ma'am. So.
Yeah, I do. And I think the answer is there inside the question. The answer is, he said he is a highly critical person, not only with you, right? So this is a person who is a highly critical person. And he also said the person doesn't have good emotional intelligence and managing people, okay? So your interactions with that person most likely will not be pleasant because the person doesn't have high emotional intelligence and doesn't have good people management skills. So I would say, don't take it personally. One thing I tell people is, you are in an organization to do some work. The only reason you are with that boss, the only reason you're with those colleagues is because you're there to do some work and to get paid to earn an income. It's not by choice. It's not because that is the boss you want to work with. It's not that those are the people I've gathered that I want to work with. It's the organization that has put you there together, and you are there for a purpose. And if once you leave that organization, most likely you're going to leave those people. So don't let those people have more importance in your life than they deserve. They are not that important in your life and in your career. They are important in that work, in that context, in that work context. Once your work context changes, the people who are important will also change. I'm not saying you can't have work friends that you keep from one place together, but in a situation like that, Don't allow the way your boss is to blight your life, to make your life difficult, your work life difficult. I'm not enjoying my work life because of my boss. Okay. It's about your boss. It's not about you. What you need to do is focus on yourself. What do I need? This very critical person, is there anybody this critical person values? Is there anybody who has found a way to communicate with this very critical person, and the critical person speaks to that person with respect and will give the person a listening ear? What does that person do? What's that person's approach? Okay, so learn how to manage your boss or overcome your boss. Or you can decide to what we call slap the person with competence. You are so good. You are so diligent. You cross-check all your work. You get other people to cross-check your work, that there's, even as critical as your boss is, their boss cannot be criticize you because you are so good. So one or two approaches. So you cannot change that boss. All you can do is change your approach to that boss. And also guard your heart. Don't let that boss impact your heart, impact your mood, impact your life, your emotional life, your spiritual life, your psychological life. That is how that boss is. It's not about you. Your life is separate from that workplace. And when you leave that workplace, you'll be wondering, why did I allow my life to become so unhappy? Because of that place I was working in before. Be happy wherever you are, in a good situation or in a bad situation. Stay in control of your own life. They call it guarding your heart. That's what I hope that you find that advice useful.
Okay, so we do not have. Oh, okay. So here's another question. How can I convince my boss I'm entitled to certain incentives, even though I didn't bring in the buyer? I'm talking about being an agent in deals in real estate. So how do I convince my boss that I'm entitled to certain incentives?
Okay, well, I'm not sure I understand that question, because I know that in sales organizations, or like an agent in real estate deals, it's the person who brings the buyer who gets the incentive. So what is the basis for you wanting to be part of the incentive? Do you want to suggest to your boss that you think it might be beneficial to the whole organization if the incentives are shared? So let the largest portion of the incentive go to the person who brought the buyer, but other people in the organization contribute to keeping the buyer, converting, getting the money, doing so many other things, right? So that you suggest that maybe 5 or 10% or 15% of the incentive is shared amongst the other people in the organization, because they also contribute to the sale. I don't know if that is the question I'm asking, but I hope so. But think of an alternative structure, put it together, polish it up as a nice proposal, show how the company is going to benefit from it, and pitch it. And don't be discouraged if the boss says no the first time. Keep on coming up with ideas. The important thing is your boss must see what is in it for me, what is in it for the organization if I share the incentives beyond the person who brought the buyer. You have to make a business case for that. Yeah?
Okay. I don't think there's any more questions, but I have a question personally. So I wanted to ask, do you think there's the best time to quit a job? Perhaps you're there and you feel stuck, like you're taking on courses personally, but then the environment doesn't allow for so much growth, you think? So do you think there's the best time to quit in a job? And yeah.
Okay, so the answer is yes, there's the best time to quit a job, but that best time is different for everybody. Definitely, you should not quit a job if you haven't thought it through fully. There's even it's called Ikigai. I'm going to type it in the chat. There's this Japanese framework called Ikigai. Okay, look it up. Just look it up on Google it.
Okay.
It asks you some questions, and in answering the questions, you will discover, what should I be doing? What work should I be doing? Okay, that I'll be happy with. Okay, and it takes money, whether you have money into account and other things into account. So you have to analyze your situation very, very well. And then you have to do what they call a cost-benefit analysis. So this is what I have right now in my current job. Okay, this is the opportunity that I see for myself and what I can gain. And hopefully what you can gain is a lot more than what you have in your current job. Now, remember, some gains are non-financial, okay? So if what you can gain is more time for myself, for you to do a proper cost-benefit analysis, you have to convert that gain into money. You have to convert that gain into money. Okay, so more time for myself might mean I'll be happier, I have less health bills, I have less sick time. Find a way to convert that gain into money so you can really compare like with like. And then ask yourself, okay, what are the risks? What will I gain if I stay? What will I gain if I leave? What will I lose if I stay? What will I lose if I leave? And you have to write it down. You have to write it down, okay? And by the time you've written it down and you look at it, what you have written, it should become very plain to you. And wait, there's something I didn't share because of time, but I know I have 6 minutes, so I'm going to share it now quickly, okay? That hopefully will help you with that question. Okay, let me just go there quickly. It is this. Where is it? I should have looked for it. Here, okay. So when you are faced with a dilemma like that, okay, there are 3 questions you should just ask yourself. Apart from what I said about the cost-benefit analysis, you should ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? And write it down. What is the worst that can happen? And write it down. Then if that worst things happen, can I survive it? Can I recover from it? Write it down. Okay? That's number 1. 2, that worst case, how likely is it to happen? That worst case, likely is it to happen? Now, let me tell you something. When men are asking themselves this question, that worst case scenario, how likely is it to happen? If it is 40%, that means the likelihood of it not happening is okay. So how likely is it to happen? Let's just say 40%. They'll say, oh, that means 60% likelihood of it not happening. That's the way a man will look at it. 60% likelihood of it not happening. That means the probability is good. Okay? Let me go for it. With women, if there is 1% likelihood of it happening, 1%, that means 99% likelihood of it not happening, they might still hesitate.
Actually.
So guys, if there's a worst case scenario, you have a dilemma, you don't know what is the right decision to take, okay? And you ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen? And you check, and the likelihood of it happening is 20% or less than 20%, go for it. Go for it. If you are here in Micah, you are most likely a Muslim, right? You are most likely a practicing Muslim. That means you have faith in Allah, okay? Show that you have faith. Take a considered risk. What is the 80% likelihood of success? Why shouldn't you go for it? Right? We know now we can die tomorrow. Anything can happen at any time. Every day you step out of your house, you are taking a risk. What is the likelihood of you stepping out of your house and getting hit by a car? It might be more than 20%, but every day you leave your house. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
So if the likelihood is less than 20%, go for it and ask yourself, if the worst case happens, can I deal with it? And if you can deal with it, go for it. Where there is life, there is hope. Okay? So please, I hope that answered your questions.
Yes, it did very much. Thank you so much. So I think we'll just round up the session. I don't see any more questions, but I see comments. So far, I'd like our guests to drop, like what they think about the session, what your experience has been so far, so we can just round up. So So I want to say thank you very much, ma'am, for this insightful and impactful session. God bless our speaker, listening to you. So, okay, so people are just saying thank you. This is worth my time. Alhamdulillah. Thank you to the speaker. So now, Jazakallah khairan, ma'am. Thank you so much for the session. I gained so much, and I want to believe our guests who did the same. But before we round up, would like to have a networking session at the end where the audience can, like interact with each other. You can turn on your camera if you'd like to. That would just take for, I don't know, say 20 minutes or 15 minutes, basically.
Okay, so I'll just say thank you to all of you. Please support the work that Micah does. Micah does brilliant work. So please continue to support the work that Micah does. And, God bless, you all. And please let us support each other. 2023, it's been a rough 2020, 2021, 2022, it's been rough. We've survived, but our resilience levels, our immunity levels are low. So let's be very kind with each other, give each other time to rest. And, it will be easier for you to blow up in anger, in frustration, patience. It's because our resilience levels are low. We've been just struggling to survive these past 2-3 years. So let's be kind with each other and with other people and with ourselves this 2020. Thank you all so much. I have to log off now.
Yes, okay, that's fine. Thank you so much, Jazakallah khairan. It was lovely having you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye.
Bye. So I don't know, you can turn on your camera if you'd like to. The networking session is to take about 20 minutes or less. Anyone could, I don't know, if you're interested, basically, not everybody has to, but if you're interested in networking, then please turn on your camera and introduce yourself, maybe.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Rukaya Kolawale.
Alaikum salam, rahmatullah.
Elevator speech. Let's have elevator speech. Everybody, unmute your mic and what we
Sister Rukaya Kolawale, it's nice to have you here.
Oh, I just realized I didn't do a closing prayer.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Tariq Popola.
Yes.
What do you want?
Yes.
What do you want this time? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wait, is that Sister Rukaya? I'm saying Rukaya Kalali. Sister Rukaya. Hey. Walaikum salam. How are you doing?
Good. Mashallah, it's good to see you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
How are you, sis? How have you been? How's it going?
Fine.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Sister Balikis Bello, Mr. Ismail, everyone, please, can we see you?
Can we
I'm
see
going to
you?
call the names of the people I know. I'm seeing
Sorry,
Bola,
you guys
Bola
are talking.
Sodelo,
Can we see
Hussein,
you?
Can
Kadri.
we see you, Zainab, too?
Let's. Mentioning names, we can't see you. Let's see you.
So what? She's wearing burqa.
Oh, Sister Zainab Salio. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Zainab.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. I'm seeing another Sister Zainab Salio.
Yes, there's a Zainab
Oh, she
Saliu.
just went off.
Yes, assalamu alaikum. How you doing?
Oh,
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Balogo. How is your day going?
Mr. Balogun. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Salam barakatuh. Alaikum salam barakatuh.
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Alaji Olokobano, we greet you in Lagos.
Me?
Yes,
Fine, thank you, sir. Yes. Thank you very much. I'm new here. I don't really know everybody here, so
Don't
it's
worry,
kind
we
of
know you
awkward.
now.
It's my elevator pitch. Salam alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Idris. Good to hear your voice again. Lovely, lovely,
It's a
lovely.
Brother
pleasure, sir.
Ismail, Assalamu alaikum to that. It's been a while.
Rukaya, how's the weather over there?
Rukoya Turaka, kí ni gbogbo eléyìí?
Okay.
Ìlú ọba ló wà.
Rukaya, má dá wọn lóhùn o.
Ó
Má
gbà
dá
fọ́
wọn lóhùn, má tán ẹ̀yin o. Ìròyìn ò tà fojú bà.
Tá a kọ jí sí.
Alaikum, sir.
Àti mutí orí àti fẹ́ pa.
Yes, sir.
Àlàáfíà ni gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ.
Good to see you again, sir.
Mr. Ismail, are you in Lagos or you're in the
I'm
abroad?
in Lagos. I'm in Lagos.
Ojú tó rí gbó ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀.
Yes. More come, but you don't come. You don't come at the same time. When I come, you don't come.
I don't come to. Mi ò gbọ́.
I came about twice or three times, but you are there.
Where?
My car.
I'm here. Okay. I've been in a while, but inshallah.
Exactly.
Omi ló pọ̀ jọ ká lọ, à ń gbìyànjú. Ọlọ́run kò ṣàlùwà. Mr. Popola.
Yes, sir.
Ọlẹ́ náà ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣọ́dá. Ṣé báyìí sọ lélẹ̀?
Báyìí sọ náà ní template.
Ẹyẹ sọ fẹ́ yẹ kó ń bọ̀ àbí. Àwọn kan tẹ̀rí sí ẹ̀ ń yẹrí. Ọlọ́mọ nọ́mbà lẹ́yìn o. Kọ̀dà mí ló fẹ́ràn pretend kó tutù òun wọ̀ náà àbí. Ó ti tọ́ ìta òwò bẹ̀rẹ̀ ti fẹ́, ó ti smoke. Ọwọ́ àwọn t-shirt. We know you. How you doing? Allah ṣe dáadáa fún gbogbo wa.
Let's not forget what Mrs. Balogun said. Said the last 3 years has been a very tough one for most people. Let's see how we can support ourselves through information, contacts, opportunities.
Yeah.
Even though you have relocated, they relocated on the account of opportunity. Please be on the lookout for others in Nigeria. Thank God we have virtual engagements now, so people can work remotely.
Yeah.
I also like the elevator pitch. It was important to find out where everybody wants to be at a particular point in time. So we can support ourselves.
I was wondering your Popola's thoughts on the line between being humble and expanding the visibility thing, and how not to be hypocritical about it. Are you pretending to be noticed, or are you really wanting to be noticed? I was just wondering what that line portends with regards to, and then, there are issues of personality also involved. Some people are deeply introverted that it takes a while to get out of, and some level of training really to show, So I just wanted your thoughts on that.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone. So what has really helped? Yeah, for example, like I led them Island to support that thing called customer invoice topic.
Network is breaking. I don't know if it's on my end.
Same here.
Wings
Wings,
Wings, telecom operator to Wings Wings,
It's not. Yeah, so I was leading a diverse team. Everybody everybody is from different parts of the world. So there's this guy from India. He's very good, but I find it very difficult to even face his colleagues. Yeah. So what has really helped me, and I've supported him now, going to present customer tomorrow morning. What has really helped me to support people, to achieve that visibility, and even myself, is that social intelligence. Social intelligence is very key to all of this, is for you to understand yourself and understand the other party. If you do that, and again, I've been able to really create that visibility that subordinate bosses will always come back to me. Yes, I acknowledge hierarchy, but I place human being first over hierarchy. So, subordinate sees me as colleagues and we can talk at any time. And also the boss also see me like that. So when you do that, that social intelligence is very key to all of this. It's just a big summary of everything. When you adopt social intelligence, it helps you to know others. Then you can better support them in their weakness, or where they face challenges, and even yourself, it helps you to improve. So again, what helped, I was in a team like 11 years ago. We were supposed to develop network management for Nigeria. Yet, so I'll just do my work. I never really wanted that visibility. Yes. That target, we made it. We had about Philippines. Then I was a local, right? Then we didn't meet the target. So we delivered 8 out of 20. I did 8. And the project manager that year came that, what happened? Do it. What happened? What happened to the expatriate? So the expatriate did all the 8. Then someone in the team mentioned that the expatriate only did 2. Then the team, then the project manager said, "Who is that person?" And I was called out. And she mentioned to me that, wow, a local? Then why are you not thinking about it? Then she had a one-on-one. So there's something they call cave with me. So we discussed, and she said, like it or not, we're going to my National Assembly. So be prepared. Anything you need, I start looking at it. If nobody has really talked on my behalf, I would have lost that opportunity. She would just assume that it was done by the expatriate. So visibility, in addition to your performance, is very key. Don't give away your work. You need to showcase your work. No matter how wins are, talk about it. Understand that this is your social intelligence. It is helping in all the way. So I recommend that. You may want to read about some book the past, using it since then, and it has really helped me a lot.
What book did you say?
I can't remember the book that in the past been working for me.
Even your audio breaks.
I think there's something on his background.
A background noise as well.
Oh,
watching.
You mean mine?
Yes.
Okay,
really?
your audio was breaking, so I didn't hear what you said. You were saying something about reading up about social intelligence.
Yes,
and there's no particular book, but
I can't remember the book, but I came across it in a book many years ago, and since then it has been working for me. Yeah, so it's something very important. But guess what, Brother Sulaiman, you have it because you're part of the people I picked something from. Yeah, I must tell you that yes, you do have it.
That's
you may not
so
recognize it. You may not,
Exactly,
you may
Marcus.
not, you may not fully believe it, but you're part of the people. ES has it. Damole has it a lot too. So you just
Right.
have to garnish it towards your own path. I really want it to work for you and all. It's very important. A lot of people talk about the emotional intelligence, but when you're conscious of that social intelligence, it helps everything about the emotional intelligence and all. So that is very key to success. It has helped my journey. It has really shown me when to really move, when to leave a certain organization. Till tomorrow, a lot of people in my former organization, I'm still dealing with that. To call Erics in my former organization, a lot of people still don't believe I left Erics.
Yes,
So they feel like I heard you left, blah blah blah. What is the new step we need to follow and all? So you naturally create a team of allies. People want to connect and they want to step, because any step you take is like it's not as a lot of people. Intelligence, I recommend that.
Thanks, Kenny. Thanks.
Shukran.
Then Idris Oladipo wants to share something. But before he joins, I was really happy to hear Mrs. Balogun respond to Kaya's question about the issue of emotional intelligence. I think again for people who report to bosses, they must also understand that bosses are, it's not like I was telling somebody, I said it's harder to be a boss today than it was 20 years ago. The boss has deadlines and everything. So I liked our ending part, which was that slap your boss with competence. And I'm sure if you slap your boss with competence, he or she would not react to you the way you feel he or she's reacting to you. And secondly was the fact that don't allow his attitude, don't project it on yourself, inshallah. So Idris, you wanted to share something, please.
Idris, my guy.
I agree to.
How far?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. And I think Bobola has actually, said most of the things I would have loved to say, but I wish that I had this session like 10 years ago, because there were some things that I learned the very hard way in my career. And I remember that, having worked for lack of a better word, my ass out, in some of my past workplaces. And it was only when I left that I began to be appreciated, and even would have the opportunity to meet people that I have worked with, maybe the CEOs coming to appreciate that, oh, if not for you, we wouldn't have been able to do this. And while I was with them, I was never appreciated. But I learned, very late in my career that I also have to do a lot of self-promotion, because I see it as a form of show-off. But I came to realize that there's nothing bad in blowing your own trumpet in a very moderate way. And if you look at me these days, for those that follow me on LinkedIn, even though I work with the government, I try as much as possible to spotlight most of the key things that I do or that we do as an organization. And in a way, I feel that will endear me to a lot of people that want to support me. Then secondly, in terms of the social intelligence part, I think we have a lot of role models around us, and we are very, very fortunate. And people that Bobola also mentioned, even what's it called? Mr. Olokodana, is very calm demeanor, is such that you are not likely to be able to find, you can rarely find such. People like ES, we talk a lot, we discuss a lot. Even my wife talks to him. Mr. Dan Mole, when we see, ES is very, very philosophical, you have to always listen to him. And I think our young people should try as much as possible, talk more with people that, you can easily approach, that can help you. These people have worked in organizations, top organizations that you can ever think about. There's nothing they've not seen, or probably they have better ways of helping you to navigate some of these hurdles. And today, one of the things that I have also learned is that let's try to learn how to blend fun with work. I am a very, very dry person. It has always been about work, but you know, at this point in time in my career, I'm beginning to learn how to bring about fun into work. And you will see that it helps you neutralize some of the challenges that you may likely face, you know, from pressure of work.
Idris, show your face. Your face.
Sir?
How can you be like that? We are not seeing your face.
Sorry, I'm driving, that's why.
Okay.
So secondly is that part of, you know, showing off, I mean, how do I say it? Making your work count at work, or being able to communicate your competences. So this is what I try to do nowadays. I look at my boss, I look at things that he needs help with. I try as much as possible to try to stand out, to do, not to over impress, or to see how best I can remedy a situation. You know, projects that we are working on, what are the new ideas I can bring about, what are the presentation, you know, what are the slides, what are the things I can create that can make sure that we are ahead at all times. And I give it to him to present. I find a way to make sure that I'm not trying to outshine him, because there's also a thin line between, you know, expressing your competence and also trying to, because nowadays some bosses are very, very shallow-minded. They will not see the positive in what you are trying to do. They will think you are trying to overshadow them. So try as much as possible to be able to balance the equation to ensure that you are not outshining your boss, and at the same time you are not you are also being able to come up as someone that is trying to solve a problem. Then secondly is also that try to always carry your colleague along. Ensure that you are not, because some of them will feel intimidated by your competence, they don't know where you're coming from. For example, for somebody like me that joined the public sector about 2 years ago, many of them just saw, like, who is this boy that just came? They don't know I have close to or over 10 years experience in the public sector. They don't know I've had companies before. They don't know I've done some things before. But just seeing me as thinking, this short boy, what does he come to do? What does he have? What is so special about him? But I wouldn't come as if I want to come and overshadow them, or I'm better than them, or I have to be complacent. No, you know, it comes, you know, competence comes with some pride, but you have to, as Muslims, you know, you also, as a Muslim, you also have to ensure that you show that Muslim character. You also have to you show empathy to other people. Those that don't know, don't come off as if you know too much. Try as much as possible to carry them along, you know, and also identify and appreciate diversity. So I would like to stop here so that I don't take much of the time. I just say, let me share these few things. But I learned a lot from the session, and I think that we also should encourage journaling. Journaling means writing. It has to be that you have to write something in your diary. You have to post something online, something that people can connect with. That's how people can get to know you. Do you understand? So thank you very much.
Thanks for
thank you so much.
Thank you for mentioning that journaling. There was a part Mrs. Balogun said, track your progress. So when you have a to-do list, have a diary, because you know there are times, especially when you are on your own, there are times when you feel that, oh, I'm just useless. What am I doing? There are times when thoughts, you have these emotions that make you compare yourself with others. Everybody is going through one struggle. You just need to get close to them to understand. All that glitters is not good. There's always a story behind it. So journaling is important. Another thing that, if you guys don't mind, I'd love to add that promotes you is that, okay, so when they're actually on LinkedIn, when there are discussions, you know, just dropping your own 2 cents or 2 kobo, sometimes you begin to see people who you don't know before going to check your profile. Who the hell is this person? Very intelligent thoughts and that kind of thing. So that's also a way to promote yourself subtly. May Allah make it easy for us.
Okay, so I want to add to what he has said. You know, so what he and Idris said now concerning journaling is a great thing, and some of the time we should avoid how to avoid content overload, because we have a lot on our mind, and they come across you know, different thoughts. So when you feel down, I'll show you something now. It doesn't matter the size of your house or your room. See this now. This is like a session in my little corner. So even when you're feeling down, write it down and stick it. Put a date to it. Then when you're feeling high, write it down and stick it somewhere. Also beside it, you know that in a certain day, I felt like this. Then you can, maybe later you can sit down and think about it. What caused that? Why did I feel so down at that point? So what brought me back up? Then that gap analysis can help you. That's one. Then your journal is part of your journaling. Any ideas at all? No matter how little it is, write it and stick it. By the time you stick about 4, 5 ideas or 7 ideas, when you bring them together, you can make sense out of it. And you can take that 2 or 3 lines that you want to post on your social media, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, or send to friends on your WhatsApp status and all to promote your visibility. So avoid overloading your mind or your thought, that content overload. The moment you think about it, stick it. Put it down and stick it. Put it down and stick it. Just have like you said, maybe a diary or something, You never can know. So when you stick it, so this is what I've been doing from home. How you just write it and stick it, write it and stick it, write it and stick it, and I can make sense out of it. So in project management, basically, that may be referred to as Kanban board. You see what you have in work in progress, how you must decongest a particular part of that, your ideas, and add it to a certain part to make sense out of it. So how to really avoid content overload is to stick it. It's very important. So journaling, we can't go wrong with journaling when you have it. It helps you to collate your ideas and you can better make sense out of it. Assalamu alaikum.
Waluk, very useful. Thank you very much. God bless you for sharing this.
But that's like, man, we should have touch base with you.
Alaji Popola will not be paying for all this. Come and do this session for us. So this session that Ms. Balogun said to do for us, come and do it for us. We are waiting.
I'm a loyal servant to Micah anytime, any day. Just say the word, I'm there.
Being able to ground yourself is also very, very important at this time, where so many thoughts. So this your post-it sticking thing I think it's something very, very good to ground ourselves. Then another thing that comes to mind is that that there are different emotions that play up in our minds, and these emotions are not related to the present moment. They are related to next year, next 2 years. And so, for our sanity, that ability to anchor and stay in the present, because, Islam has also taught us that when you see money, don't be too, also put it at the back of your mind that you may not reach the evening. So being able to stay in the present is also important. Something to put out.
Okay, again, I remember when I was in Mayfair, on Facebook, I wrote something on Facebook 1 year like that. I can't remember the year. I wrote Senator Kehinde Popola 2019. I'm talking about maybe around 2004 or 5. So I wrote Senator Popola 2019, inshallah. So was it 2019 or 2015? I wrote it on Facebook, Senator Kehinde Popola 2019 or 2015, inshallah. So that year, people took me back to that. Like, okay, you wrote, what's happening to your political ambition? So my reality changed, and that helped me again to really talk to people about the reality change that I had. As at when due that I was supposed to be a senator, based on my dream that year. Yeah, so what I want to bring out from that is, when you have a future plan, also let people know So perhaps, some things you might even forget. But for me, even the senator that I put on Facebook, I didn't even remember at some point because I dropped it along the line. But people came back to remind me, what's happening? You mentioned these things certain year. So when you want to do something like, it's something that you're thinking of right now, and it's gonna happen in future. Because for me, I need I need fan base. That's the reason I posted it on Facebook that year, because I knew that if I was going to be a senator, I would need people definitely. So not all ideas you put on social media like that, but you may have a trusted ally that you can share this with, accountability partners that they can cheer you up and say, oh, don't forget the year is in few months now. What you mentioned that you are going to do at XYZ. So I just thought I should share that because that's in the Tokupola 2015 or 2019. It rings in my head all the time. When I remember when people called me out and say, what's happening? Are you not becoming a senator again? So having a future idea is good. But as we go along our journey, your reality may change. So try and communicate with people that that can keep your ideas and keep reminding you to set you on your toes. It's very important. Alhamdulillah. Yes, you are on mute if you are speaking. I can see your mouth moving.
Alhamdulillah, nice one, brothers. May Allah continue to make it.
Yes, stop láti èmi ò ṣe brother kìíní kọ ẹ má pé brother kí lè wá kiri báyìí ẹ má kó bá.
For those
He
who
wants
have
to cobalize you.
Google Keep app. Google Keep app.
Yeah, I just posted that for those who don't have, it's not all the time you have a stick-on pad. You can use Google Keep. Google Keep is an app if you have a Google account, you have it. It's just basically put your thoughts on. You can put pictures, record videos, anything that is useful. You can.
Okay, so I want to speak on that. You can make money on that. So there's an ongoing discussion. Even it happens in Australia that people should start paying. Google should start paying users for using their information for analytics. So like this Google Keep app, Google use a lot of information that we put on them for analytics and to make a lot of money, and to make some decisions, some accurate decision about consumers' behaviors and all of that. Yeah. So for me personally, online, maybe because I'm studying cybersecurity now, I feel having too many things online is you will tick this box, your confidentiality, your Kinecon will protect your privacy, but you're never safe online, really.
It's just an alternative. You don't have to. There are other ones. I think Microsoft has something similar. But again, basically, as you said, all those things are online. I agree with you. I also like
if you're going to put it online, tweak it. You can tweak it so that it can become your patent when you need it. Right? It can become your patent when you need it. So just tweak it. Don't make it like a direct words as you have it on your book or your diary or something. Just tweak it. So people will do a whole lot to make sense out of it. Then you can decode it when you want to put the ideas back on the line.
Right. Noted.
Nice hanging out with everyone.
Yeah. Always. Yes, that is my godmother now.
She's fine. She's
my love to her. As one called Carrie. All the timid you para lẹ́yìn mi àrí.
Àjọlọ̀ òun ẹ̀yẹn ni. Kọ́dà mí ìgbà ló máa bá ṣàlì sọ̀rọ̀ ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí.
Oh, that me go where what?
We were still in this. I don't know what to say. I'm still there.
Bashali Zoro. Because our boys.
Ọlọ́run kọ́lọ́run bá ran gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní UK lọ́wọ́ kọ́lọ́run bá ṣe ra fún. It's a bit tough in the UK now. I was reading nípa bọ̀bọ̀ the Prime Minister who wants to crack down on Nigerians who are there too, especially the students. Ọlọ́run bá facilitate affairs gbogbo àwọn tiwa tó wà níbẹ̀ tí.
Oh, she did that from Ugwa. So it's a tough time, but Allah is forever on his throne, and we'll continue to beseech and ask him for help. And I'm sure for us, even in our darkest hours. It's not easy, but we are better than a lot of people. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
It's good to keep that in perspective.
Well, what is happening in the UK is not out of place. It's something that some experts foresaw. I mean, in the recent past, that this is going to happen, considering the landmass, the opportunities, but what I believe that will work for us as Nigerians is our branding. So a lot of Nigerians, I see them cast Nigerians and even cast Nigeria. Like I was saying yesterday, there's no place to me, anywhere I am, there's no place like Lagos to me. And I still stand on that. Lagos is the only place.
Come and live in Abuja.
Yeah, I'll come, Idris. I'll come again. Don't worry, we'll see again. So, that Nigeria identity and branding is very important. We should stop. Branding our Nigeria poorly, and whatever I've become today, my Nigeria factor is largely part of it. And any organization or any country I am going today is not a win-lose, regardless of your situation. You have to let them know that it's not you are not losing any. Worst case scenario is going to be a win-win. So don't think. And Nigeria, our culture in Nigeria, we are communal. We want to bring XYZ. So part of the issue in the UK is that the number of dependents are so much that people are bringing. I mean, how do you expect me to be in the UK? I not want to bridge the gap. You don't want my family member to have access to the same thing I have access to. I think UK government, they are being hypocritical. They knew that this was going to happen. They never prepared for it this much. So they are just trying to use other means. Indians are more. I mean, for example, in the city that I am now, you feel like you are in
Indians are more.
Indians are more.
Indians are more.
So,
but what I feel Indians are doing more, like Brampton where I am now, you feel like you're in New Delhi, right? So what I've discovered, like from the Indians, is they support one another. That Indian branding, they don't joke with it. And that I think is really missing a lot from us Nigerians. We like this our okay. All this mentality, we should drop it as Nigerians and promote that communal mentality. When we are good together, even the UK government, we look at our numbers and say that, look, if we decide to mess with Nigerians, we are finished. So with that Nigerian branding, we must look out for ourselves, support ourselves. So what is happening in the UK? I think a lot of people that keep trying, we know that it's going to happen at this point, or if not this point, we knew that it is still going to happen. Yeah, so we can just try as much as possible to stay together, give ourselves information and support one another as Nigerians. But yes, at the same time, look out for the bad head amongst us. so that you don't get caught unaware. But largely, we submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the sole owner of everything, and I'm sure that when we try to do this, so when you look at some of these people that we are talking about their branding, they don't. A lot of them are not even Muslims, but
Yeah.
they drop that. They drop this part of, okay, yeah, they have their religion, but that communal is a value that is, if you come to this brand now, you can count. I mean, over 80% of the houses they are owned by Indians. How do they do it? So they will come together, buy one in one person's name, and they will start be a job. They will do a job thing, kind of, and that's how. So when you speak about a lot, check many places in government, in key places in Ontario, in Kent. There's a lot of Indians, and we have a lot of Nigerians also trooping into Canada. Why is this not really happening? So these are some of the things I'm looking at. That okay, yeah. So a friend approached me, my first host in Canada, said that okay, yeah, I know that you have the capability for this, and that. Why can't you just start from we that we knew way back from Ife, this and that. Let's come together and see what we can do for anybody that is coming in to join. So even if it's just $1 that we all put together to say, okay, Kendi Popola just gave me a Fundili. It helps him to settle down. It will help him to do a whole lot. You know that. So whatever feeding my contribute back. So these are the ways to maintain this communal thing. Yeah, some people want to abuse it, but we can't. This is this is part of the ways we can really promote some of these things. Yes, to mute. Mute.
Mr. Popola, you just they give us.
Yes, sir.
We don't feel pay you for all this new jet, so well done. Well done.
Thank you,
No,
my brother.
I think everything makes sense. I think we already have all of these things. It's just a realignment of our values, really. We need to come into focus now so that we love our country more than any other person, and then see how we can help each other. I totally agree with what you said. It's important that the Nigerian community begins to do that which it's there's so much expected of them, but I just see that when they get outside of this place, everybody just goes to his own little corner and all of that. And I think going forward, I mean, there's no culture within the country, Nigerian space, that doesn't have communal living, and it's even more for Muslims, where that is really, really emphasized. I see Brother Ridwan raising up his hand. You want to say something?
Raising up his hand.
So monopolize. Please go ahead, talk. So I think we already have those things. It's just for us to realignment of our values, rediscover ourselves. I love our country.
Yeah.
My battery is going. Bismillah.
I think, firstly, let me glorify Allah for seeing Micah family for quite some couple of
yeah.
Also dear. So alhamdulillah, and the activities always resonate, sounding. So every time I see the mail, I just like to join. But alhamdulillah, we are.
Alhamdulillah.
So we may not see in person, but we always connected in my channel. So
alhamdulillah.
Yeah, and firstly, I used to appreciate Micah business class. Gonna years back, that I has to attend. So it's really, it's so some seed onto me. So of which they are keeping growing up today. So alhamdulillah for that. So now what Mr. Bukola has been saying is just a practical thing that has been working here in Oxford. So most especially, alhamdulillah that and that I've thank God that Allah have able to path and make a way for me. Yeah, that I've been able to align. So in Oxford here, we got one. I've associated myself with some social network that promoting welfare of Nigerians and people in black nations. So in order to protect them against the stereotype, against the structured and against the structural stereotypes that UK has built over the years. So we had OCA, Oxford Community Action, whereby I'm now part of them. So we had someone that has been championing the cause. That man is counselor in Oxford. So what we do is we raise some. We used to we meet some big companies, especially during the COVID. Oxford UK started and the social investment by giving people foods. So thereafter, the same project continue. So now what we now do now is that when we now make it a recycled, any food we get from that, we'll share it to people. We now ask people to pay at least little pounds. Then part of food, we cook it. When we cook it, we now ask people to come and pick it up, to come and buy it. We don't use buying. We tell them that they should help others by dropping some pounds. So any money they now give us, some people may drop a food of worth of £1. Some people may drop £5. Some people may drop £10. Some people may not even drop anything. So we now get the money. So the money we get, we use to buy more food. So more food we buy, we share 2/3 to people. We ask them to at least to drop. I mean, we make sure that each bag has like the worth of £10. We now ask them to, okay, you can just drop £1 just to recycle. So, and till now, it's been something of the benefits. In fact, people have been able to feed, and in fact, most Nigerians have benefited from this thing. So now, this thing has been I've been thinking of this, of people like this man is Nigerian. He's the only he's the only black in the councillors in Oxfordshire. That councillor is like Federal House of Rep in Nigeria. That Keda. So because in Oxfordshire, it has different constituency. So, and that guy is a young man, very energetic, and he's a Christian, but he's in fact he has every quality of Muslims. He has passion, people's development passion, and so I've been looking a way of the funny thing, people here don't appreciate him. That's the funny thing. Nigerian here don't appreciate him. So me and him, we've been developing some ideas to ensure this degenerate a big thing for a Nigerian, even to a level of company. So now, person like this, I've been looking at how can Micah And so I even thought of Mecca because, you know, Mecca has diverse people. So as I've understand the people in Mecca, business is a diverse mind. So now our person like this can actually how we can make use of this man more often is an asset, not for here, even down to Nigeria. So over the time, I may be able to, I may see how I can liaise with um, Sir Lokodano and see how, yeah, I can see. So and see how we see how to make use of that resources because he is in charge of he is in committee, he's heading some committees in charge of health, in charge of safety, and in fact, there's a lot of things, opportunities, but it needs people, it needs resources, you need people to surround him. Yeah. In fact, so this morning we spoke on a project that UK, Oxford is launching, and is one of the member of that committee. So, and that committee is integrated health system. They said they use it in US, so they are now bringing it to Oxford, to England. So, and he's a member of that committee. 2 weeks ago, he allowed Nigeria to alternative medicine. He's a Nigerian man. He allowed him to pitch some products in Oxford. But this man was reaping people, and this man was felt, and this council I'm talking about that invited this man from Nigeria was really disappointed that how would you be reaping people of 300 pounds, the people that don't even have money, but because they want to, the people are looking for alternative to medicine in England because the health sectors are doing something else. So people are really looking for alternatives. So, but now invited you and start exploiting. So that is now the Nigerian in UK here. In fact, is horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. So now that committee.
You don't lose hope now. You just become the alternative to that. So I just before I lose my train of thought, I think that since you work so well with this fellow, you can be his clearinghouse rather than him. There's nothing wrong with him inviting, but maybe you should have helped him to vet some of those things. Let him break a presentation to you first before you introduce him to people. Always stand at the gateway of filtering whether it is information.
I work together with him. I work together with him, right? I know it means people of the same minds.
How many Nigerians are in Oxford?
In our, because we have Nigerian living in Oxford, so I'm one of the ESCO. So far, the Nigerian also have many, but you don't have data, accurate data.
And so maybe it's time to start doing that. You can lead that. You know what to do basically. So just do it. Start getting the data, no matter how small it is, and start fishing out the useful ones that can help. Don't throw your hands and say they are not helping. There might be people that may be shy of looking for the opportunity. They don't want people to know them, but they want to serve. You might be the one to be able to help them identify those people and give them the opportunity to serve. Start small capacity, and then before you give them the bigger things that involves issues that has to do with money. Of course, vetting, again, being a gatekeeper is very important because everybody is in UK for different reasons. Kalamo Kodamin is in so Nigeria, but we know him. And we can vouch for him, inshallah. We saw Kuala a few months ago in Lagos, and suddenly he's appearing in Broughton. But Amo, your daddy and all of that. So we can always find some kind of clearinghouse to say, any bye. I think you can work well with him in that regard. I think the solutions are really within your grasp. You just need to start. Again, there's no better time to start than now. Start small, but start. I wish may Allah make it easy, but you do have to start. Forget about whether it's Christian or not, even if it's Hindu. There's a goal that you want to achieve. And Islam doesn't frown against making the community better. No matter who you are interacting with. You are not going there to go and worship Ram, Sita, or Hanuman. I mean, everybody each to his own, but when it comes to projects, you work with projects across board. You meet so many diverse, different people. And sometimes your Hindu person is even better than, a terrible Muslim that you entrust a lot of things to. So basically, it's to look out for those same human values that we as Nigerians have just forgotten: integrity, honesty, truth, being sincere to what it is that you're supposed to be doing, So I would say, look out for the good people, give them an opportunity to serve with you, and hopefully you help this fellow become something even greater. Maybe you'll be looking at being the next councillor while he moves up to the parliament, inshallah.
Yeah, sure. That's our project.
Oh, okay. So,
inshallah.
So yeah, of course.
I'll make it easy. I'll make it easy.
Ameen.
All right, my brother. Yes, Ida.
Sorry, I wanted to ask something.
Yes, please.
Okay, I just thought, I'm not sure if, does Micah have a mentoring kind of, is this not session, or I don't know, like where you have people assigned to mentors, basically? I don't know.
So in the past, we've had such, and I think that for a space like Micah, you gravitate towards who you can. I'm sure there are mentors within Micah that can help you. Whether there's such a program designed as such, I know we had something like that in the past. I'm not sure whether it has continued, but as long as you're within the community, you would always find people that can help you with whatever it is that you require. So maybe it's time to start thinking in that direction, or rethinking in that direction. I know we had many sessions on that.
Okay, to add to what Brother Sulaiman said, if you are not sure who to really meet, if you identify a mentor or someone that you think can help you or propel your path, if you are not really sure of meeting them, you can always talk to the ES. The ES, everybody is within his reach. He knows how to connect the dots and connect people together. So you can tap into that, and I'm sure that everybody knows that when he says, come support this person, or you, okay, I want you to get support from this person. People will be glad to do that. Yeah, so just use that opportunity. Identify someone, even if you don't, ES can help you. Just take the matter to him. He can help you identify who can support in that regard. Along back from what.
So, Mukaya, so there are opportunities. All we just need to do is to identify the job you are trying to do at this time. What are you trying to achieve? And we can match you with somebody who can handhold you. I was telling, was it Zainab? I was telling yesterday. I'm also looking at mentoring from another point of view. There's a saying that when people stay together for more than 4 days, there's this heavy bond that is built. And so I'm looking at, a situation where we identify accomplished seniors. And so we just go, it's like an immersion camp, 3, 4, 5 days. You take 1 or 2 sought after people, and 10 to 20 people will just go and download them. Sir, how did you so I'm at this stage in my business, how did you go through? So it's like a panel session. They can even get insights from other participants, but this person is there's something about mentoring. Mentoring does not mean that the person knows everything. What mentors do is that they just cut you a check for speed. What they achieved in 20 years, you come and meet them instead of you going through the route of getting that. Getting what you want in 20 years, they can reduce it to 5, 7, 10 years by their handholding. So that is on the radar, where we can have individuals. So you go for a camp with that individual. And again, one thing that does again for us as Michael is that it builds a community. If I attend one with someone like Mr. Popola, I get to know Mr. Popola on a deeper level.
Yes, can you stop this, Mr.
So he said he should not call you brother, it's called you Mr. He said no. He said he should not call him brother. He said he's calling you Mr. Now, what's the problem, Tawit?
Okay, so let me share an insight.
Okay, you don't like Mr.
Tawit, let me share something with you. I met one guy, old Michael member, Shukwa Ibichoye. Ojumilogon. I met him in Kano while I was 7. But when he's talking to me, sir, he's always telling me, sir. Tẹ́ni tó bá ju ẹ lọ tó bá ń pọ́n ilé àìwọ́n náà àbí tó máa jẹ́ ọmọ tí ò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lé ló máa yí mọ́lẹ̀. That's one. The second thing is that it's just out of courtesy that we should respect each other.
Then.
So just imagine, and we must learn to start comporting ourselves. Imagine, okay, I come to Canada and I see, so you are a CEO of an organization. I have to start learning to accord you that respect. But even when you have juniors, you must respect them. One thing I learned with a colleague of mine, he was struggling when we were in England. Oh wow, just lower. So tell me my day kini be tell everybody didn't pay chama, talking sakini. Tomatin round, I gave me no man baround. So dada, so that kind of individual say, but boy, it's too small, mama shami mere, then safu. He becomes unavailable. You go around people who would honor you, who would. So then, Mr. Popola.
Like my mother will call me, Allah forgive her. My mother will say, Baba Beji, don't remember me, sorry. Baba Beji, no, one Baba Tamid, Baba Tamid. She that dale work, and I say, yeah, Beji. I mean, you call him back sorrow. Anything about it, Tom about the poor. I'm off your work, but I struggle with that till she died because only me. But she will continue to do that. Yes, I understand, but one of the things that I have picked up from America, maybe there's a time, maybe perhaps we should do our America story. A lot of people. I know we have a lot like Idris, everyone called me that these are my guys, Yes, when we talk, when we sit together, we are friends, but that again is a culture that I picked the very first time I met Brother Sulaiman. That day I was. So people could be in high places like this and still be great. Yeah, so pardon me, sir, it's American culture, that every level is a level. So avoid it. This is an informal forum. So if it's Sahel at Mr. Helen, most often.
Mo pé Kẹ́hìndé tèmi yé mi o. Ọmọ tó bá tó ẹ nísìn kò ní máa sọ pé there's something when I started work. Wọ́n ní pé we use first name basis. So our MD, Mr. Ajayi, and he called me Ṣeun Ajayi kò mọ wa lẹ́nu mo lè Ṣeun Ajayi kẹ ọ̀gá Ṣeun.
I know, right?
Ó mọ̀ pé nísìn tí àwọn àbúrò ẹ̀ tó máa ṣe ń pè ẹ́ ní àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣe máa pè ẹ́.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, something happened in Ericsson. There's his first name too in Ericsson, regardless of your age. So now our HR will be sorry gone. Yeah, so there's this woman, head of local administration, West Africa. She's like 51 now. So bad. Sister Joke, me man pe won. Then there's this our new generation Ericsson don't wọlé 3 years ago, 2 years time pandemic. Loba Joke quick one. Quick one. Joke quick one. Wallahi. Ọmọ bí ọmọ yìí lọ́mọ ọmọ tí mo sọ. I mean, she's in her 20s, Yeah. So only Joke quick one. Joke quick one, sir. Yeah, but she gave her the tough way to do what she really needed to do. Yeah. So and later, this young girl, one way or the other, she was grouped under when they were doing their onboarding, so she was grouped under me for the onboarding process to walk them through. So, and she saw the way I was addressing Auntie Shola, Auntie Joke, so she summoned the courage. She walked up to me and said that, she was using Sir for me, and Joke that I am using Auntie for. She went to her because the HR is on the first name basis. Joke quick one, So she now makes these people, we didn't know. Work colleague, we have grown relationship and they have supported me in other ways, even my family and stuff. I went, okay, but the HR said, Money, sometimes you use your wisdom. Lola Kai. And funny enough, Lola. Now when you wanted to address me, you said, sir, because you were grouped under me for onboarding walkthrough, right? But if you had called me Kennedy, still I don't have problem with it because I can deal with it. But the generation of Joke quick one, and I reminded that I was there where you mentioned Joke quick one. When she attended, but you know that you could have got a better position if you had properly addressed her. At the guy, Mama J ló ń pè Joke quick one. Mama J ó kọ́kọ́ pè wọ́n mommy pàtó yá ni mommy báwo ó wá sọ di Mama J. All the senior people that she gave them like Sister P, Mama J, kìíní. The HR will not. I later realized that yes, it's what the HR preaches. Our Ericsson HR is over 50 also, but she doesn't mind. But she shows it at some point unconsciously. Because you're so money HR only preach, but the HR did not tell you that it is compulsory, right? You must. So you have to use your wisdom in that aspect. And since then, she had a good relationship. I think she's in UK now. So we're going to resign. Ericsson, go to UK. We to follow train our Kodami. The Japa. Yeah, so I agree with you. We said yes.
Yes, I think for me, I think what we should consider is like a drop-in section, probably one Saturday, get all these people you mentioned. And but I think I need to talk to Zainab about publicity. We need to change our strategy on publicity. People should come, we address them in like first 15-30 minutes, then go into your room one-on-one, just 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out. within 10 or 30 minutes, depending on the number. I think people will be able to get like a lot from that as well. We might actually be doing that every 3 months as part of our mentorship.
That works, alhamdulillah. Ewa, Zuru Titombio.
That's
lucky Zuru. Inshallah.
Okay, sir.
So a quick one. Is Micah Katiba still is OD this December, right?
No.
It's the ES who asked that one.
Mr. ES, Ibulewa. ES,
Let's see your face.
But I don't think Micah
you.
Yes, now.
No, I don't think there's anything in the works for this year. I think a lot has happened with regards to Katiba. The program needs a lot of rejigging, and we need the political atmosphere to also calm down a bit. And I think the situation in Luna is focus L'Oreal, just to put it on hold for a while. It might, I think maybe going forward, it might dovetail into different types. You can have a Katiba for just strictly business people. So that's more the people that are there, the people that come, where you can use the atmosphere. And then, of course, those ones will be a short period. Can have one for those who are working as well that's different. But our demo, what we used to do for grooming teenagers and things like that, it still needs a little more work before we can, revamp it again. Once that is done, I'm sure it's one of the flagships of the organization, so I'm sure we'll bring it back at some time. Just need the atmosphere to be a bit more secure and a bit more trusting, or at least have access to a facility one can control 100%. And if you remember, most of our venues that we use are really not. Worst case, I think the highest we've had is maybe 60-65% control. And in this day and age, you only learn more who is doing what and what, since you are safeguarding and also teaching children from different areas. So it requires a lot more work, a lot more thought, and a lot more planning. So yes, it's back now.
No, you've spoken my mind. You've spoken my mind. And above all, we also need more hands on deck. Islam is interesting. When Islam is interesting, when you go to organizations that everybody speaks about, it's because of the people. Yes, it's because of the people. We also need to step forward. What drives me is that at least I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution. And so, again, in being part of this solution, I've also come to realize from human-centered design, sometimes when you are solution-driven, there's something called power asymmetry, where you will, so like what the brother in UK is talking about, if somebody is doing good to people who need help, tó bá ṣe gbé kalẹ̀, tó bá ṣe position ààrẹ, he can do that, he or she can do that in a way that àwọn yẹn máa rò pé àwọn ò lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣọre fún wa ní ká yá ṣe sùúrù ká farabalẹ̀ ká gbóre tó fẹ́ fún wa kó má mú lọ. So sometimes even I think I'm more focused on engagement now rather than the solutions. Okay, so what are people in the challenge really? And so that Katiba, you can't do Katiba the way we did it in 2019 again. How can we make it more impactful? So that's why things like those immersion camps to come to mind, where 20 people go and meet. I like big crowd. If you can do it in such a way where people can go back home with so many things. At Katiba, you are dealing with when it comes to Katiba, parents just want to come and dump their children. So they are different age grades, different realities. And at the end of the day, because of your internal capacity, you just be overstretched. So it's something that we need to all really think through. Bruno was saying something yesterday, and I think I like the idea. Some people who have gone through the Katiba have become great people. Perhaps if we have even if it's a 1 or 2 day camp where these people come and share their stories, because the current generation, as far as I'm concerned, they only follow success. They don't follow the story. They follow success. So say that if you say this is Tawit Popola, Kinikon, if you say that, if you say Quadri, Kinikon, UK, Lagos, it is, and you know where that dawned on me. It was what's his name? Man Estate tell you. Nasir Giwa's program. There's a guy called Abdulbasit. He said he wanted to, in fact, Omo Bile Echan Bemi can bring her home, volunteer for my career. Riba boy. Mukwari, Abdul boy, kon sakiri mo, I am Abdulbasit. So ibiti kinimati roll àwọn ni àwọn ọmọ kékeré lọ.
GM program, no, he has a lot.
I know it's once a year they do it, so they have a lot of time to plan for it. We do our own every week, but the young generation, they need to be able to see the testimonial. So if we do like a Katiba reunion, because one of the things that Micah can leverage on is nostalgia. Actually, we go Micah in the pitch nostalgia for our young people because they don't know what you're talking about.
Amen.
All right, is Zoom time? Zoom time. All right. Allah Akbar. It was really lovely bonding with everybody. Brother Ridwan, may Allah honor you, may Allah facilitate your affairs. Sheikh Mufti Menk, Tawid Popola, thank you for all the insights. Thank you very much. God, Amin. May Allah honor you and facilitate your affairs. Imam Alik Amoni, Sister Rukaya, may Allah continue to bless your back. Alhaji Balogun, Allah Aba Kenyon, Allah Aba She Dada fún you. Ismail,
I think it's my side.
May Allah facilitate you.
Screen is frozen.
Albert 1. Allah Ashe Lolu Omo, Abdul Wahid, although we can't see you, may Allah facilitate your affairs and make it easy for you. Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Èmi náà tí mo ṣàdúrà fún yín tán, Ọlọ́run gbàdúrà tèmi náà.
Amen.
All the best. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you. So